So the healthcare giant McKesson just dropped an earnings report that was, well, an absolute blockbuster. It was so big, it sent their stock through the roof. Today, we're going to break down exactly why Wall Street got so excited and what this really tells us about where this industry leader is headed. Okay, let's talk about this number. Almost 17% in one day. For a company the size of McKesson, that's practically unheard of. It's a massive signal from the market that they didn't just meet expectations, they absolutely crushed them. So, what was the secret sauce here? To figure that out, we'll first look at the headline numbers that made everyone's jaws drop. Then, we'll dive into the two big growth engines that are really fueling this thing. We'll also see how they're using tech to innovate their core business and sharpening their overall strategy, which all leads us to the big takeaway. All right, let's jump right in. All right, first up, the blockbuster quarter. Let's look at the raw numbers that got Wall Street so fired up. The story here is pretty simple, right? McKesson just blew past what everyone was expecting. They brought in way more revenue than anticipated, and maybe even more importantly, they were more profitable. That EPS number, earnings per share, that's basically how much profit they're making for every single share of stock out there. And beating on both of those fronts, that's a huge sign of a really healthy, well-run company. And you know what? This wasn't just some lucky one-off quarter. The message from the CEO, Brian Tyler, was pure confidence. He basically told investors, hey, get used to this. By raising their forecast for the entire year to predict 17 to 19% growth, they're signaling that this incredible performance is here to stay. And that is exactly what investors love to hear. So, the numbers are huge. But how did they do it? What's really driving all this? That brings us to our next section, the two powerful growth engines working under the hood. So, the first engine is their big strategic bet on specialized healthcare, with a laser focus on oncology, that is, cancer care. Now, this isn't just about moving boxes of drugs. It's about creating this entire ecosystem of support, everything from logistics to data analytics for the doctors and clinics on the front lines of cancer treatment. And wow, just look at how well that bet is paying off. Revenue in their oncology segment up a massive 37%. But here's the real kicker. Operating profit jumped 57%. See, when your profits are growing faster than your sales, that means you're getting incredibly efficient. You're not just selling more, you're making more money on every single thing you sell. Okay, the second engine is biopharma services. You can think of this as McKesson playing a crucial role helping drug companies, getting new medicines to patients and figuring out all the complicated stuff around access and cost. It's a really high-value, tech-heavy part of their business. And check this out, the demand is just exploding. They added over 50 new programs in a single quarter. That's not just a number on a slide, that's momentum. It shows that more and more of these innovative drug companies are looking at McKesson and saying, we need you as a partner to get our therapies to market. But this story isn't just about the shiny new stuff. McKesson is also totally revamping its huge traditional distribution business. Let's talk about how they're using tech to make it happen. Here's a perfect example. A new regulation came out, and it created a ton of really complex questions from their customers. Now, the old way to handle this, manual work, phone calls, escalating issues up the chain, you know the drill. The new way? They built an AI chat tool that actually understands what you're asking in plain English and gives you answers right away. And the results? They speak for themselves. The CEO pointed out that this one tool stopped 75%, 3/4 of these tricky questions from needing a human to step in. That is a massive win. Customers get answers faster, and McKesson operates way more efficiently. It's a textbook case of AI delivering real, tangible value. So we've got growth engines firing on all cylinders. We've got innovation. The last piece of this puzzle is strategy. McKesson is really sharpening its focus, basically deciding to do fewer things, but do them way better. And this is all about being disciplined. First, they're now completely out of Europe, which just simplifies the whole company. Second, they're getting their medical surgical unit ready for an IPO. That means turning it into its own separate company. Both of these moves are designed to do one thing, unlock value, and let McKesson pour all its energy into its biggest opportunities. Okay, let's wrap this all up. When you put it all together, what's the big story here? What does McKesson's incredible quarter really tell us? The big takeaway is that this didn't happen by accident. Not at all. It's the result of a really smart, clear strategy that is just firing on all cylinders. Their big bets in oncology and biopharma,
they're paying off, big time. They're using tech like AI to make their core business smarter and faster. And they're making the tough calls to streamline the company. It's really a masterclass in how a legacy giant can reinvent itself.
Which leaves us with one last big question. In a world where so many big, old companies struggle to keep up, has McKesson just handed us the blueprint for how to not just survive, but actually thrive? It's this powerful mix of a focused strategy and smart tech investment that you can bet a lot of other companies are going to be studying very, very closely. Thanks for digging into this with us.